Hello, kindergartners. Mrs. Boydston here. I'm going to read this story to you. It is called 100 Billion Trillion Stars. Can you imagine so many of anything? It's by Seth Fishman and illustrated by Isabel Greenberg. Let me tell you a secret. The sun is just a star. And there are maybe 100 billion million trillion stars. Circling around our star is a planet that is blue and green. Us. Blue because it's covered by 370 billion gallons of water. Green because it's covered in 3 trillion trees. On the other side of the planet, where the sun isn't shining, you can see bright lights like little stars all over its surface. Those are the lights that come from 2,500,000 cities and towns and villages filled with people. Some even reading books, just like you. Look, he's reading this book, 100 Billion Trillion Stars. 7,500,000,000 people live in those cities and on that planet. But do you want to know another secret? So do 10 quadrillion ants. The strange thing is that 7,500,000,000 humans weighs about the same as 10 quadrillion ants, which is still only a small fraction or portion of the 13 million billion pounds the planet weighs itself. That's heavy enough to make a big dip in space and pull the moon into orbit, where it circles and circles the Earth 240,000 miles away. This dip is a force called gravity. Gravity is also what pulls you back to the ground when you try to jump to the moon. 420 million miles is about 10 times around the Earth, or 240,000 miles is about 10 times around the Earth, or almost 420 million ewes, or dogs, or smallish snakes, or guitars, or baseball bats lined up head to foot. Now, take a deep breath and hold it for 5 seconds. Just do that another 6,307,200 times, and you will be a year older. Or don't. You'll be a year older in 31,536,000 seconds anyway. This entire world is filled with crazy numbers built one on top of the other, making it whole and complete. There are about 1,620 trillion raindrops in an average thunderstorm. The highest wave ever surfed was as tall as a 10-story building. The average person walks something like 100,000 miles in their lifetime, or 5 times around the world. A great white shark has about 300 teeth. You have 20, but you'll have 32 when you get older. Only 546 people have been in space. The longest a person has spent in space at one time is 437 days. There are probably at least 37 billion rabbits in the world. In the course of an average lifetime, you might eat up to 70 pounds of bugs or more. And the tallest building in the world is 2,722 feet tall. It is in Dubai. By the time you're done reading this book, almost every single number in it will have changed, getting bigger or smaller right before your eyes. Even the number of stars. I can tell you one more secret about something you can find somewhere among the 100 billion trillion stars. There's only one of you, right here, right now reading this book. And that's the story. But I want to read this author's note to you because if you like big numbers, this will be fascinating for you. Author's note. I think I owe you an explanation. I'm sure you're wondering how in the middle of the wide world I know the number of stars or ants or raindrops. I definitely didn't pull out a telescope, look up into the night sky and begin counting. If I did that, I would spend my entire life looking at that telescope and would never come close to finishing. Instead, I discovered them through scientific articles and math and very intelligent guesswork and the help of a genius I know named Randall Munroe. These numbers are sort of definitely almost true. Let me explain. Some of these numbers change so quickly that to give you an exact number would be impossible. For example, we don't really know if the full weight of all of the ants on the earth equals the full weight of humans, but we can estimate that there are 3.5 million ants per acre in the Amazon rainforest. With some serious snooping, fact-checking, and extrapolating, we can estimate a very large number of ants on Earth. One that means the combined weight of all these ants should be near the combined weight of all humans, or maybe dogs or mice. And yes, you might eat some of those ants. You might eat many different types of bugs, though of course I don't know exactly how many or whether you'll do it on purpose. Maybe a fly will zip into your mouth as you bike, or you'll swallow a spider while you snore at night, but it will be near 70 pounds worth over the course of your life, about the weight of a golden retriever. Estimates can help you imagine sizes and compare one big fact to another. That is why this book is called 100 billion trillion stars and not 119 sextillion 57 quintillion 737 quadrillion 183 trillion 462 billion 307,491,609 stars. We can get very near the correct number on many things, near enough for us to understand how big they are, especially in comparison to the world around us. Here is what's really important. These huge numbers are around us everywhere. They're in atoms and ants and stars, linking everything together. You have the exact same thing that stars are made of inside of you. And the sun, just a star, has some of you in it too. So the next time you're staring at the night sky, don't bother counting the stars. Just watch them all shine. I hope you have enjoyed this book. And I hope you've enjoyed the new way I'm trying to read to you so that you can see all the pictures. Until next time, thanks for joining me on Mrs. Boydston Reads.